I have here some Kevlar thread. This is a 69 trade, and what I need to do is I have to turn this black. I have to make it black like this. So as you can see, it's pretty yellow, and it's very hard to get these online in black, the 69 trade. They do make other trade sizes that are already black, but in my application I can only use the 69 trade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take half of this yellow one and spool it onto an empty spool like this, and do only half of it, and then do another half on another one. And then while it's on this one, I'm gonna re-spool it on another one because this one is actually wet from the dip. So I'm going to run it through this little contraption right here that I made, and I kind of came up with this whole idea because I didn't know how else to do it. So I'm being frugal and all that. This is what I came up with. So I got a little board right here, this board, and then I have this one of those plastic containers that holds either soup or whatever in it. So I'm gonna remove it so you can see it. And this is how it's going to work. You got to carefully take it off because there's a puddle of ink inside this container. So if you can see this, let's see if I can see it in the light here. Okay, so this right here spins. It's a little wheel that I cut on the lathe itself. Now, as you can see, this is a lathe, and I'm making it into another purpose of use for it. So I put some grooves in this little wheel here. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm gonna run the thread right on one of these, probably the one furthest over here on this end here. And that's where it's gonna get looped. So it's gonna come in through here, down over the wheel, and back out again, and the yellow spool is going to be on this one, and the empty spool will be on this side here. And then it's going to run at I'm going to have the lathe running at a medium speed, because you don't want to go too fast, because this ends up splashing and it makes a mess. As you can see, look at my fingers, they're dirty from touching it, and I don't use gloves, so I'll just clean them up. So yeah, so I'm gonna run it right through the first hole here, under the wheel here, and out the other side, and spool it around, and then run the machine. So I'm gonna put this together so you can see how it's gonna go. Okay, so I'll put this here for now. I'm gonna take my yellow spool, and I'm gonna put it on here like that. And I got this little collar with a screw on it, and what that's going to do is keep this thing from falling out from here. So I'm going to lock that down. This is all my little invention that I made to make my life easier. I didn't know how else. I don't have any type of threading machine. We are not a threading shop. We have an application that needs this on one of our products. So, but the purpose of this video is to show you how to do your own thread in black if you can't find the thread, the trade size Kevlar thread that you might need. So here we go. Alright, so now I'm going to carefully take this out, and I'll bring it right through there and out the other side like this. And I'm going to hook it over the top of the wheel. Doesn't have to be perfect at this moment, as long as you get the thread through both sides, and then you can fix the thread on the wheel once you get this side in. So it's a little tricky. This thing gets a little clogged up. Oops, almost dropped it. So we're gonna get that in there. That's the hard part. Push it through. It doesn't appear that it wants to go through. So let's try it again. Okay, there we go. So I was able to get it. I was able to get it on the wheel and loop it right on that first thread. So the first groove that's on that wheel. So now I'm gonna make sure that the two holes where the thread goes in and out are straight. So when it spools on top here, it'll run good. So now I'm gonna lock the cap down, making sure this thing does not pop up, because once the machine starts rolling, you will make a mess. Okay, so we got that. Now we have our empty spooler. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it through this hole here and out the bottom. I have it on this side here, and what I'm going to do is when I put it on here, it's going to pinch it. It's going to hold it for me, so when I start moving the machine, it doesn't come off. So you see it's got a little cord on there. So now I'm going to bring this side in. See, now it's in there. I'm going to test the thread, make sure it's not going to come out. There you go. See that? It's nice and tight. So now I'm going to hand turn it. And there, we got it. So now it seems like it's rolling pretty freely. And you can see there the liquid is coming through the hole when I do that. So it's already got a few turns on it, and we're ready to spin it. So like I said, I'm going to do half of this onto here, and then I'll put another one and do another half, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to run the machine in that direction, not this direction, and it's on the second speed of the wheel speed. Okay, the pulley. Okay, so here we go, and I have this little thing here that has a little U shape right on there, and what that does is, since again I don't have a threading machine to give it that crisscross look when you buy thread in the store, so I don't know if you can see that. It's all crisscross, and I can't do that. So I'm gonna do my own version of it with this tool and hold the thread right here and run it up and down slowly, back and forth. So I get half of this on there. Here we go. There you go. So as I'm doing this, I'm just going to go all the way to the top, come back slowly the other way, and just keep doing it up and down until I get at least what I think is half of the entire spool. The spool itself is about 700 yards. I'm just estimating. This is not anything scientific about it. It's only so it's useful on a machine that this is going to be run on. It's a sewing machine that has a double needle on it. So the machine itself requires 2 spoolers on the top and 2 spoolers on the inside of the machine at the bottom where the needle meets each other. Now the only thing I can say is that this is a bit of a mess, and again, I'm not going to wear rubber gloves just to protect my hands from a little bit of ink. It's still washable. And the ink itself is actually normal regular ink that you would probably find in most places. This ink is really a dye that we use on other products mixed for lacquer. The lacquer is we use a clear coat on our brass products. So we happen to have quite a few different colors to mix into the lacquer, and the lacquer has a bit of its own color. Depends on the application. Like I can use brown colors if I'm doing a dark antique, and or a bronze color that's not right. Just the way a bronze color should look. So we have different colors for different applications. But for this application, it's completely jet black, it's called. Alright, so it looks like I got about a quarter of the thread on top of this spooling thing. So as you can see, it's building up, it's getting some thickness. The ink is wet. So what happens is by the time I get to the last one, and I got 3 brand new ones of these, this is now the second spool that I'm working on. As I get to the last one, the first one just starts drying up. And what I'm gonna have to do is re-spool them again on another spooler, because I'm only using these with the holes in it for air purposes. So it gets a little ventilation on the inside, so the ink dries on there, or the dye. The mechanic who will be using this likes to spool the plastic with no holes in it, because he says that, you know, once I drill these out, he says the thread gets caught in some of the jaggedy edges, and so it makes a little trouble for him on the machine. So I just put it on a clean spool that has no holes in it at the end. That'll be the last thing that I do. So okay, we're almost there, almost halfway. Okay, this will be the last run. I'm gonna come down to about here, and then I'm gonna stop the machine and cut the thread and put a new spool on there, an empty spool, and that's it. So that's where I'm gonna end. So I'm gonna say that's about half. I don't know if you can see that. About the same amount on both. Okay, so now I'm going to take a nice sharp razor and I'm going to cut this. Okay, so now I'm going to remove it. And there we go. We have 1/2 of an entire 700-yard spool. And I'm just going to put it right there. I have a little slot razor cut right in there, so I can put the thread in it to hold it from unspooling itself. So you see that? Okay, so this is all wet right now, so it's gonna dry while it's just waiting for the other one.